This is my houseboat, the Flat Bottom Floozy, and during lockdown I lived on board it. And upstairs I would grow vegetables like this, watercress and capsicum. I saved all my compost, although I didn't have something quite as elaborate as this. I also had plenty of flowers to spark my joy each day. I grow all my herbs up here on the veranda, and you can still see some of the chives are still here. And inside the galley, this corner over here, I'd have planters all stacked up because it's an area that you couldn't use the engines at the back there. But the sun would come in because it'd be like a glass house with all these windows. She was parked up in Mapua, and it was all like water in the estuary with flounder, kahawai, mullet, and during lockdown we weren't allowed to fish. So of course I never ever fished off the back of the boat. One of my subscribers, Manu Kingi, who's in West Auckland, he goes, "Clay, I've been following your channel and watching what you're growing, and I'm envious. Most space I've got to grow in my place is only about 2 square metres. It's too small." And I thought about this. And I thought about when I was living on the houseboat, and I probably only had, really in all reality, maybe 2/3 of that size, and I grew quite a lot of stuff. Obviously I still had to buy stuff, but I certainly supplemented my vegetables. So today in this video I'm going to show you what you can do to grow some vegetables to supplement what you're already buying. Vegetables are so expensive, and there's times when you can't get stuff. Like right now you can't even buy kale in the shops because with floods we had, it all got damaged. And kale's something I try to eat every day. Luckily I've got it in my garden, so I'm okay. So for a reasonable price you can actually make a garden. The thing about gardening is it does cost money. You need tools, you need planter boxes, you need something to keep the pests off, you need good soil. So I'm going to show you what I would do, and I'm doing this as an exercise today purely for my brother Tristan. If you're watching this, he lives in Wellington and rents a small place. He's got a couple of square metres there easily. And for Manu and anybody else that is a bit envious of all the land I've got around me, you can still grow stuff in pots, and I'm going to show you something even cheaper. These pots over here, all those vegetables, they belong to Margaret, who's currently, she's just temporary in the houseboat. I've given her a space, but she's got her own house bus, and she grows everything in pots. One thing I told my children both when they were students is to grow courgettes, because courgettes, they produce a huge amount of food in a relatively quick time. And courgettes are quite expensive to buy too. It's a good plant to put in if you're limited to your budget and also your space. I want to show you where I'm going to make my garden today. This is going to be called my city garden, although it's not in the city. It's right next to the old Calc Bedford. This is one of 3 gardens that I've got. This space over here has just not been used. This is our communal space. We all cook in here, and guests stay up in the loft there, or the loft at the back as well. It's been here forever. It's got a few bushes in it, which we can easily cheer those out. These guys just pull away like that. They give it up pretty easy. And this stuff, which is just growing on everything. Actually, it was probably offering a bit of shade for that tyre, which we're trying to look after in the Nelson sun here. Got a bit of wood sitting on it, but it needs a bit of protection. Oh, we'll have that up in a minute. Just pulled this piece of wood out of here, and check it out. Here's a bit of history. Look at that there. The Flat Bottom Floozy. Did anybody ever go on it? Before it was a houseboat, it was a ferry that my dad made. He built it, and this is the original sign. Well done, Dad. The old Flat Bottom Floozy. What's the bottom down here? Oh, there's the old phone number. No longer in use. That's it. That's the old signage on the ground. Well, we could probably just about use that for something. We'll put that aside. Man, it's over 15 years old. Well over 15 years old. Probably 20 years old. Bit of history. Now I've got my 4 legs down on the ground. There's a couple of types of people. There's those that keep everything tidy and spick and span, and they look around, they go, I haven't used that in the last 6 months, and they get rid of it, and they got really nice tidy homes. If you look around my place, you know I'm not one of those people. And the other people are people like me that are messy bastards and go, nah, might need it one day. Well, the old Flat Bottom Floozy, she used to have on her a walkway, and one day it would fold up and down, and one day it folded right down too far and broke, and it was trapped in the tide, and we had a problem. She'd run off her mooring and it was broken, so I got the chainsaw and I cut it in half. Since built a new one, but I kept the old one, or at least half of it. That's it there, the other half's still under the floozy. That's one of the pieces you walk out, and that's going to be our tabletop. So you've probably got at home, you've probably got a table or something, but this is what we're going to be using today. You can see why she was on her last legs. Look, she's rotted. And when you've got that dry rot going on wood, it's night Nursey, that's buggered. Yeah, so it did really need to get replaced. You don't want to faff around with cutting up bits of wood and an old piece of a boat. Get one of those. They're free in so many places. Old pallets. You can just lay a pallet on the ground. It'd be much quicker. No, pallets, they're not, I don't think they're H3 or H4, are they? I think they're just untreated wood, but it doesn't matter. You're going to get a year or 3 out of it. Those pallets have been sitting out there for about 4 or 5 years. Still going good. So this is our top. It's going to go on our wood. And it's going to be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's going to be just like I bought one. Lovely. Go tell your mother. She goes under the truck to keep cool. I hope one day I don't drive out and forget she's under there. I bought 3 of them at the Mega Store. $16 each for vegetables, and they've got all the good stuff inside, so you don't have to worry. So far we've spent 3 16s is 48. Is that right, Mass? This is where I seed all my stuff. That Swan Plants have just put seed in the ground. I generally seed most stuff except when it's on special. Before I start planting, I want to do this. I want to get these guys as flat as possible. That one's quite flat, but this one here's got a bit of a hill, you can see, so I want to get that down flat. I want to push all the dirt to the very outside and get as flush as possible. In these bags you've got these holes in rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my stick knife. It's the only bloody sticking it's done this. Oh, it's done a little bit this year, but bugger all due to my shit health. So there's nothing wrong with using a knife for your garden. Make a hole like that in there. Pop one of these beautiful little bastards out. These are, yeah, they're Target. Make sure you've got a good hole in the ground, and Bob's your uncle. This guy's going to love it, because his roots have got a place to go, haven't they? Just stuff them down in there and it'll be sweet. Come on, get in there. There you go. Beautiful. Poke all the little spare bits down inside. Yeah, Target capsicum. Normally they're supposed to be like 45 apart, but we've got so much nutrition in this, we don't need to worry about that. 4 apart's fine. Sweet as, bro. Hey, and a big, get a bit bigger, big hearty thank you to Harlem. He gave me that stick knife, and him and his wife had a baby, and they called it Clay. They sent me a picture of it, so that was pretty bloody humbling. Have a wee baby that's named after old Clay. I thought that was a very beautiful thing to do, and I was very grateful for you guys to come and see me and give up your time, but didn't expect you to call your baby Clay. Well, let's hope that your baby Clay has a good life. Okay, there's another one in the hole. That's my wildfire chili, and you can see I've staggered them. So, to the side, that way the sun, they get a bit more sun. Just do each hole like that there. So those 2 bags there are holes, but I tried something different on the 3rd one. I cut it wide open, and I put some straw on top. Actually, it's old baleage that has gone rotten on the farm. Why did I do that? Well, you're going to get probably 2 or maybe 3 lots of vegetables before your nutrition's gone out of the soil. If you do it this way and you keep adding to the substrate, you actually can build your soil up. So that's another option for you. And then you can continually like put your coffee grounds, your old scraps, have sort of like a wee compost thing going on, and you'll get your nutrition going back into the ground, and you can keep on using that substrate for a lot longer. If you're in the city, then that's probably okay like that, because you might have the odd sparrow come in, and they will shred your broccolis and your cauliflowers and possibly your kale and your bok choy for that matter as well. So you could put something over it. Howdy in the country where I've got dogs running around, pukekos, ducks, people, I want to cover it up. So we need to go one step further. These here, you can buy them. I don't know what they cost, or you can also make them, and I'll show you what you can make them out of. This is Damo's garden over here. Clearly everything's gone to seed. We'll harvest those seeds. But what you can see is just a bit of pipe, just an old bit of pipe, flexible enough, and it holds the net off the plants. It's certainly not rocket science. Put those up. What we need now is a little bit of net on top of that. My good old mate Troy Dando gave me all this net. I'm going to eventually use it on my own garden. I'm going to cover all these frames here, but today I'm covering my baby one. And I think it's about this big. That should do it. We're doing, Super Duck. That's our garden pretty much done and dusted. I've put a little bit of mulch around some of the ones in bags because they were getting a bit droopy. And us blokes, we don't like things getting a bit droopy. So the actual garden itself cost me $48. That's the 3 bags. That's your garden. What you put on top of that and the rest is up to yourself. You might want to seed plant yourself. You might choose to make something like I've done, a cover or not. You might throw it on a pallet. You might have it inside your conservatory. Anyway, but that is the actual garden itself. You don't have to fart around with building planter boxes. Now, if you think that some of that stuff is too close, I want to show you something. That's actually spring onions that Bumblebee's on. These half muscle boys are pretty small. And as you can see, I've got my Silver Beach very close together. And they do just fine. Look at that, beautiful. So we've got plenty, and we've got some lettuce growing in there as well. This was my very first garden during lockdown. And basically it's a whole row of mussel boys. That's what it looks like underneath. They drain, and I've got to now gather seeds off these plants. Seeds can be quite expensive, so if you can save your own seed, why not? Probably took me a couple of hours to do the whole lot. Anyway, I hope it's been useful to you guys. I didn't really need to have a garden like this, so I've got plenty of space, but I wanted to put a wee bit of effort in to help those of you that don't have space so you can make your own garden like that. And I hope it's been of some use to you. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you do find that something like this is useful and you've done it, then put some comments below and tell us how you got on with it, the pros and the cons, and subscribe to the channel because it helps me to make more of these videos. See you later. Oh yeah, be good. Can't be good, be careful. Time for a cup of coffee.